Hey, even though you didn't win, you did great. Stop using anime protagonist holding back tropes to confuse me. Huh? That's what they do in those? Yeah, happens every time someone has a match like this. A pathetic one, I mean. Well, that's a nice compliment. Hey, after we get changed, why don't we head to the vending machine and get something cool to drink? I'm sure we both need it, and you'd love to change into something that. No tea in front of everyone, you clown nose. Hitomi had been watching this whole, not seeing Alice or Susumu going all out before, and it looks like they had lots of fun, even if Alice was trying to hide it. He's kinda glad they became friends. And rivals, but that's besides the point. While changing, Alice notices that Susumu actually has really defined muscles, and gets a bit jealous. Once they do get to the vending machine, they both get a bottle of water, with Hitomi and Manami there to make sure they're okay. You know, you have some serious skills there, Alice. Even though it's not at all what happens in basketball usually. Where on earth did you pick that up? Oh. That? I honestly really don't know, so, even if I felt like telling you, which I don't, I wouldn't be able to. Okay, if you can't share, that's alright. For me, it's that basketball is my life. Actually, I plan to go competitive and be the first girl to get into a men's league. That's why I never usually hang around until 6. Got some real balls for a lady, you know? Considering how stupid those guys are, you could probably make it to some D-League men's league on a wheelchair. And I'm not saying you're good, by the way. Typical Alice response. I know you're rooting for me. No, I'm not, you idiot. Anyway, I have to go. Bus is going to be at the station in 40 minutes. See ya. Susumu runs off. Seems like Mr. Hitaro happens to like manly women, as wastes of time. No wonder why Susumu thought Hitomi was gay. Alice, that's not nice to say in my public place, alright? Geez, sorry. I never knew you'd take so much offense to me being right. Aren't you going to go back to your room? Actually, no. Believe it or not, Michi wants me to do something with her this late. I don't know what though. Manami says bye, and leaves. Hitomi and Alice walk back, pretty alone. She looks at him a bit, while he's not looking, and likes how serene his face is. She wishes she didn't have to compulsively act superior to everyone, but it's a habit that she doesn't know the cause of. She actually begins to feel bad. When Hitomi looks back at her, he can sense it in her. Hey Alice, what's wrong? Hitomi baka. You think I'm getting on your nerves at all? Well, no. I actually kind of like it, when you express yourself in any way. I know how you feel, because it's most likely exactly what I feel. Really? Even though I'm constantly calling you an idiot. Which you are, by the way, throwing your work under the bus without making it obvious. It hurts me a little bit. You do deserve it, but not as much as I hammer it into you. Hitomi puts his hand on Alice, who doesn't feel like slapping him right now. You do what you think is right, no matter what it makes you look like, and I won't ever stop being your friend for it. But what if it's about hating another person based on their skin color? Wouldn't that suck? I doubt you, a little pink tomboy that loves to show how strong she is, could ever bring yourself to hate someone for something that dumb. And, another thing, for you, even though you have no right, because you're stupid. You think I should lighten up? Any amount of light is good no matter what, you know? Well, thanks. She walks off into her room. Hitomi secretly pumps himself, glad that those corny video game lines worked on her and that she doesn't hate him. Day 29 of Alice being in school. Alice flexes to the entire class that she did amazing on the test, and that no one could ever beat her score. Even though the test results aren't even out yet. Hitomi tells her to wait before saying such things. And, well, it takes her a bit longer than usual to slap him. Today's business for Alice. Find the Alice Shrine and take all the pictures. But she had really no idea where to look. So, completely winging it, she came into their clubroom. With Hitomi, since there was practice or studying for the others. About 21 or so guys were there. Oh, welcome to the best place in the whole school, Alice-sama. Oh. So you decided to keep pestering me, eh? The best thing you dogs can do is show me where the stash is. They look at each other like they're crazy. Hitomi thought he even read a lip read of hold on, she knows about the shrine. You can go there, but on one condition. Oh my, what is this condition? And it better not be anything lewd. Do an ultra cute maid cafe line for us, please. I've got to be shitting me. She looks at Hitomi, staring at him like he better not tell anyone or he's dead. I mean, it's better than you're fawning over my ass, so I'll do it. Wait, you're recording this? She smashes the video camera immediately, somehow making them even more attracted to her, now that she touched something of theirs. I'll do it, but no recordings. You don't tell anyone either, and if you do, the principal is the least of your concerns. She clears her throat, slowly easing herself in a relaxed mode, but even beginning to smile a little. Welcome to Club Alice, filled with delicious ass-hoothings and torture to all perverts who come in. Oh damn, that's some super hot fire, and Hitomi realizes that this is her way of being adorable, but still insulting them. That, and they are too stupid to notice and think it's just a kink show. That was amazing, Alice-sama. You may enter the stash room, alone, with that guy over there. I don't want to catch your face herpes. Seeing Hitomi made them pissed. A lot more pissed. Hey, that guy shouldn't get to go in there without us around. Whoa, don't you think this is a bit nuts? I mean, all I did was tell you guys to not bother her. Hitomi blurts out. Fine. But one guy only. Of course, one volunteers immediately, and they take her behind the clubroom, down a hidden set of stairs concealed by false bookshelf, and seemingly into the sewer. But they build over it somehow. Must explain why the water gets backed up sometimes. However, Alice uppercuts the guy to watch her, instantly knocking him out, while Hitomi catches HM to make sure he doesn't get hurt. Then, she gets her bag ready, not having opened the door inside yet. Hey Hitomi Baka. Stand outside so the perverts don't come in and try to do naughty things. Hate bloodbaths. Well, since you dragged me into it, sure. She goes in. And, well, it's exactly what she expected. Pictures of her ass in bloomers, shots of her changing, her picture day photo, and a bunch of colored anime drawings of her nude. Geez, if this was only what was on the walls and ceiling, there must be a lot worse stuff here. She feels disgusted to even look in the cabinet. Hitomi. The stuff in here is awful. Don't look. He believes her, and doesn't look one bit. She tries to open it, but it won't budge. Turns out it was locked. Good thing she's got lockpicks. So, she tries to pick the lock, but the lockpicks don't even fit in or work. This must be some really tough lock, maybe even military grade. Oh well, if you can't do it, punch it. And that's exactly what she does, except it hurts and she had to blow on her hands. Solid metal. Fuck, there must be some horrible stuff in there. So, she mostly confiscates all the privacy invading and creepy butt photos by putting them in her bag. Even if she can't get it open, there's probably going to be action done about this. But then she notices another cabinet, but out of wood. She opens it, and it seems like a normal cosplay closet, filled with men's and women's clothes for theater. But, she's got a feeling. She pushes upwards, downwards, all over the back, and once she pushes it left, it opens. To reveal lewd clothes in her size, meant for her, even a string bikini with barely any decency. She feels sick, and hurls on the floor. She exits, closes the door, and tells Hitomi that they have to get this to the principal, or someone who will be good enough to report it. He, well, not wanting to doubt her, agrees. But before he follows her up, he decides to peek inside. But then realizing it was a huge mistake. When they reach the door, it's locked from the outside. They both listen in, and it seems like Mr. Ichino is arguing with them about the ethics of having a club that just goes after women, saying it's not at all what God would want, or what a human being should do to another. They simply laugh him off and compare themselves to Lewis and Clark, saying they are just exploring an explored territory. Mr. Ichino highly doubts that, and demands to know what's behind that door. Oh, that? Turns out Alice-sama actually wanted to get plowed. We had Oda follow her in there. He should have knocked out that sissy Hitomi and is taming her to perfection right now. They repeatedly pound on the door to let Ichino know they're in there. By God, let them out. What? How on earth? Mr. Ichino runs over to the door and turns the lock, so that they can get out, and they do. Good fucking grief. You perverts actually didn't get what I cutely said earlier, did you? Huh? Alice beats the shit out of all of them, knocking them unconscious for threatening them both, except one guy who had no idea what was going on and just joined yesterday. She let him run off, but not before calling him a massive idiot for almost getting initiated in a rape cult. Oh no, Tanner, are you alright? Finally. Someone gets it right, but it took me to get locked in a rape dungeon for that. Alice jokingly says. I think I'm going to go inform the student council and the principal right away. Wait. Let me come with you. There might be members who are lurking about. Ichino says, and Alice, not wanting to risk anything, lets him run with her. Hitomi, well, reflects on what the hell he saw in there. That deep down, in a room that not even the janitor is aware of. It sent shivers down his spine. Oh well, he'll let the nurse know and get them healed up. they're probably going to be expelled anyway, but help should be universal. The nurse, inside the infirmary, listens, and says she'll get over there immediately. They end up getting wheeled off and taken care of, with Hitomi watching to make sure. He walks all the way back to his room, finally understanding part of why Alice was so angry at them. She's incredibly perceptive when it comes to cameras for some reason. Alice ends up coming back with Manami. They end up meeting in Hitomi's room about it. So, now that they've been found out, they could possibly try breaking into any of our rooms through the empty rooms next door. That means it's very likely something bad will happen tonight, if we don't do anything. What on earth do you suggest? Hitomi asks. Have Sashimi sleep over in Hitomi Baka's room like last time, and Michi can stay in my room. That way, if anything bad happens to either of us, there's less risk of us being hurt. Well, if that's what we have to do to keep everyone alright, Manami says. She calls them both through the phone line for them to sleep over tonight. Yes, it is late and badly timed, but I'm sure it'll be fun. The sleepover happens, and everyone enjoys themselves watching TV dramas and having heartfelt sob stories, as well as Alice, strangely enough, comforting a scared Hitomi, but after calling him stupid for even needing her warmth. Once everyone decides to hit the sack, everything goes smoothly. Day 30. No breaking and entering even happened. Hitomi and Alice breathe in relief, but Manami's first practice is on Saturday, so she bolts off, and so does Michi. However, Susumu stays and suggests that maybe they can hang out together or something. Alice takes this pretty well, funnily enough. You know what? Let's do it. It felt weird for her to not try to assert her dominance, but, well, something huge just happened. It turned out she really wanted to see how the manga was going, but Hitomi explains to her that he doesn't have a general plotline set up yet, and that this stuff takes a lot of time. She, surprised, offers to help him write a good story, to which he accepts, while Susumu enjoys playing a basketball game on the Entertainment Plus. They decide to eat instant noodles for breakfast. By noon, Alice seemed to be on a roll writing the story, having it that 3 of the girls, her favorite being the main character, would go around and help the world with their technology, despite what the school providing them that they shouldn't, and they help the people who need it most with their issues. That only be for the first 6 chapters after their origin stories, and how they got together, though, because a manga with just that would be boring and get canned. However, by them doing good with this technology, they awaken a sentient alien hive, causing havoc within the community. So, the 3 girls would be forced to fight them, and be heavily pressured into killing them, for the greater good of humanity. The fisherman with a laser scythe would be their boss, who they'd have to kill due to his unrelenting hatred for humanity. This tears the group up, however, feeling guilty, and they return to their normal lives. Despite this, another 3 girls come to continue fighting crime and any aliens that attacked anyone. However, by chapter 41, the aliens would have gotten themselves citizenship, and shown that they can live in society, and this new set of girls, not knowing about this, shoots a murderous half-alien, leading the country, now led by the buff dictator, to declare them as traitors. This makes them come back to the original 3, and they beg them to continue their work in helping people, but they get what they were doing was inciting violence, and they really don't want to help anymore. Disappointed, they leave, and they don't hear from them until a peaceful protest from both populations gets killed by a psychopath, and the cops do nothing about it. This leads the 6 of them to unite and resume helping, even if it means killing, or breaking the law. Wow, Alice, that's an amazing plotline. That could give me content for months. Oh, thanks. Hitomi then tries to pat her on the head, but she doesn't seem to like it. Hey, I know I'm happier than usual, but you really shouldn't do that. You might be slapped. I like my hair neat. Oh. Sounds like it should be called Battle Girl Justice based on that. You too, Susumu. You really helped me out a lot. Hey, I'm not the one who wrote it, just happened to listen in.